So I've never really been a big phone or social media person. Honestly, I wish I grew up in the 80s, back when people called on landlines and you'd ride your bike over to your neighbor's house to see if they were home to play. Now, I've always had an iPhone, but it tends to jump out of my pocket or I accidentally forget it at home, which means I don't have to worry about texting people and I can actually just talk and have conversations in real life. Kind of a crazy thing nowadays. It bums me out how consumed by social media and phones our society is. Everyone's caught up worrying about what everyone else is doing. Now this is my journey back in time. My good friend Caroline bought some lightning-fast Apple charger on Amazon, probably made in China, and my other friend Abby happened to have the same older version of the iPhone as I did at the time, sophomore year. Well, one weekend, Abby's phone needed some juice, so she plugged it into Caroline's cord, and in the morning, when she woke up, her phone didn't turn on. So she took it to the Apple store, and they said the battery was fried, and so thinking not much of it since her phone was old, she just ordered a new iPhone. Well, the following weekend, my phone needed some juice, so I decided to use Caroline's cord, and in the morning, my phone didn't turn on either. Well, secretly, I was a little bit excited. I would now be phoneless for the weekend. But suspicious of this cord, Abby and I decided we should probably go to the Apple store and get a diagnosis. But since we were both phoneless, we needed to, or the Apple store was about 20 minutes away, and we didn't have our phones to use directions to get there, so we decided to make a hand paper map and handwrite the directions. So we embark on our journey, giggling as I shout the directions for each turn to make to Abby. And thankfully we made it with no surprise detours or road closures. And we walk in the Apple store, my dead phone in one hand and this evil charger in the other. And the Apple store guy looks at it and he's like, oh yeah, you know, those Amazon cords are untrustworthy, your battery's fried. Here's a $50 Apple charger I can sell you. And you know, Abby and I, suspicious of the salesman's motive, we were like, we need a second opinion on this. So we were like, oh, let's go to another phone repair shop. But of course, we don't have directions to get there. So we pretended to look at the iPhones on display, and we pulled up directions to a nearby phone electronic repair store, and we wrote them down on our paper map. And then, you know, we drove, and thankfully we made it safely. And so we give the phone to the guy, the tech nerd, and he takes it apart and looks at it. And Abby and I look at each other, and we begin to scheme. This would be the perfect opportunity to get flip phones. I'd always dreamed of having a flip phone and being able to sassily snap it closed after hanging up the phone. And so the guys bring the phone back, and they're like, oh yeah, sometimes these lightning cords have too much power for the older iPhones, and they can fry the battery. And so we were like, okay, thank you. Can you print us directions to Walmart? So they print us directions, and we head to Walmart, and we nearly run through the store to the back, the electronics department. And there they were. For only $29, we could get ourselves a brand new Nokia flip phone. So we get our phones, and we drive back to our apartment, and we lock ourselves in the room, and we start setting them up. But apparently, setup required some additional requirements. You need some type of phone plan. So we decided to just go with the 30-day talk and text. So we opened up the door, and we showed all our friends, and we were having so much fun taking grainy photos and crackly sounding videos. We got a piece of paper, and we were writing all our friends' phone numbers down as a phone book. And no one could believe that we were going to survive without a smartphone. And easy, I thought, until we hit our limit, our 30-minute talk and text limit within the first day. Apparently, it means 30 texts in 30 minutes for the whole month. I mean, how could anyone survive with one text or 1 minute of phone call for a day? Well, Abby had already ordered a new phone, but there were less than 4 weeks till spring break, and I was heading home. So I figured, what better opportunity than to try and conquer the 30-day flip phone challenge. So my parents agreed they would buy me a new phone when I got home. So I decided if I was going to make it another month, I should probably upgrade to the unlimited plan. So Monday morning rolls around, and I open my laptop in class, and I realize I need my iPhone to verify my Duo verification to get into my school email and the course site for all my classes. So embracing the challenge, I now had to go to the IT help desk every day to get a bypass code. And this situation came with many more challenges I had to resolve, communicating with my friends and my work group chat, which also required a code sent to my iPhone to get into our work chat, which caused a bit of a miscommunication. One morning, I was scheduled to open, and I got to work, and my coworker hadn't shown up, so I was running around prepping everything for open, hoping they would just show up late. And so when I finally got the chance, I pulled out my laptop and drafted an email to my coworker and my manager asking if anyone could come in and help me. And I quickly learned that email was going to have to be the quickest form of communication for me, rather than punching the number 1 3 times just to get the letter C. This caused another bit of a reality check at how modernized and reliant on technology society has become. I had a big internship interview, which was 2 Zoom calls back to back. And so the night before, I was lying in bed, tossing and turning, all the things that could possibly go wrong without having a smartphone racing through my head. But I booked a room in the library, and I tried the good old Zoom trick. Since I had to run to work afterwards, I looked like a Christmas tree. I was wearing a green blouse on top and these red running shorts. And so I'm in the library, and the first interview goes well. It ends like 2 minutes early, and then it's 10:29. Thunder booms and lightning strikes, the lights flicker, and the Wi-Fi goes down. I freak out, I panic, and I jump up, and I knock on the kid in the room next to me's door. And I'm so embarrassed, and I frantically explain that I'm supposed to be on an interview, and I don't have a smartphone, and if there's any way he can help me. And so thankfully, he lets me connect to his hotspot, and I get reconnected, and I apologize, and I explain my whole situation, and we just ended up laughing about the whole flip phone on the interview. So then the days following, I was nervously waiting to hear back, worried that this dumb flip phone had just completely blown my chances of getting this internship. And so, still upset about not hearing back and this stupid flip phone, I open my email and I see an email from the managing director and the guy who had done my first interview titled, "Have 5, call me." So I panic and I ask Caroline if I can borrow her phone, since I figured I didn't want to be screwing around with this flip phone anymore and completely blow my chances. So I call him, and he answers confused on this new number and why his calls hadn't been going through. And so I explained to him the whole situation, and I apologized for all the inconveniences. And he just laughed, and he offered me the internship. And I was nearly in tears. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I was on cloud 9. I had somehow not only conquered the 30-day flip phone challenge, but I had somehow secured an internship. But that's when reality sunk in. I couldn't continue life this way, going to the IT help desk every day, emailing friends about plans, missing group messages. The world has moved on, and it has become nearly impossible to live in a society without a mini computer in your pocket. My parents got me a new phone, but I kept my flip phone as a keepsake of all the photos I'd collected and all the memories. But it opened my eyes to learn to slow down and appreciate the moment, smell the roses in life. While I can't live in the 1980s in 2025, I can still choose to be present in the moment and not scroll through life. Thank you.